Good day everyone, I'm Cendy Alberny and I am here to report about agrarian reform from the Spanish colonial Philippines to the present. Here are the government's initiative on agrarian reform. First, we have President Diosdado Macapagal on 1961 and 1965. He is considered as the father of agrarian reform due to his landmark legislation and agricultural land reform code on RA number 3844 enacted on August 8, 1963. This comprehensive law aimed to address land ownership issues, promote social justice, and improve the lives of Filipino farmers. It abolished share tenancy, introduced the leasehold system, and provides support service to farmers, making a significant milestone in the country's agrarian reform efforts. This act ended shared tenancy in the Philippines and shared a program to turn tenant farmers into landowners. Its main goal was to help poor farmers gain ownership of the land they worked on, giving them more freedom, stability, and the hope for a better future. This act focused on promoting owner cultivatorship, farmer independency, and equitable land distribution. It aims to boost agricultural productivities by giving farmers direct control over the land they cultivated. This program was initially implemented in selected provinces, including Pangasinan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Tarlac, Occidental Mindoro, Camarines Sur, and Misamis Oriental. Through this initiative, a total of 18,247.6 hectares or 99.29% of the targeted 18,377.5 hectares were successfully distributed. As a result, 7,466 farmers beneficiaries gained access to land, fostering a more just and productive agricultural system according to social official records from the Blood Door. This initiative marked a significant step towards agrarian reforms, promoting land ownership and economic empowerment among Filipinos farmers. Now, we may come on to Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. on 1965 to 1986. Presidential Decree number 27 aimed to reform the agricultural sector by transferring ownership of tenanted rice and corn lands to tenant. The law set a 7-hectare ceiling for land holdings, allowing shared tenant to purchase or less land they held. This decree sought to promote social justice and economic empowerment among Filipinos farmers, particularly those in the rice and corn industry. The Agrarian Reform Program under President Marcos aimed to uplift farmers from poverty and ignorance, making them dignified and responsible partners in nation building. The program provided a package of services, including credit support, infrastructure, farm extension, legal access, electrification, and rural institutions development to improve farmers and promote rural development. President Marcos' agrarian reform program consisted of 5 major components. First is Land Tenure Program, which aimed to transfer land ownership to farmers. Institutional development focused on building support institutions. Physical development, providing infrastructure like roads and irrigation. Agricultural development, enhancing farm productivity. And human resources, developing farmer skills and capabilities. This component works together to promote comprehensive rural development and empowerment of farmers. President Marcos' Agrarian Reform Program was considered revolutionary due to its implementation under martial law, allowing a swift changes without lengthy legislative processes. The program governing law, Presidential Decree No. 27, was nobility handwritten by Marcos himself, making it a unique and significant piece of legislation in the Philippine history. President Marcos' Agrarian Reform Program has limitations, including its scope, which only covered tenanted, privately owned rice and corn lands. Excluding other agricultural lands, large tracts of land were allowed for use by foreign and local firms, potentially undermining the program goals. The declaration of martial law also raised concern as it led to the arrest of farmer leaders without due process, suspending the weight of habeas corpus and restricting individuals' rights. And then we have President Corazon C. Aquino's administration on 1986 to 1992 marked a significant period for agrarian reforms, with various sectors recognizing its importance as a social investment. The Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CRAP, improved the tenant-teller status, particularly for those within landowners, retained areas, or landholding subject to coverage. This progress aimed to promote social justice and equity in the agricultural sector, benefiting farmer beneficiaries and contributing to rural development. During President Corazon C. Aquino's administration, significant reforms were introduced, including the establishment of a new adjudication system that granted the Department of Agrarian Reform, or DAR, quasi-judicial power to handle agrarian dispute. The administration promoted livelihood and agro-industrial projects and intensified support services to empower farm beneficiaries, aiming to transform them into productive entrepreneurs and improve their overall well-being. President Corazon C. Aquino's administration received strong support from key stakeholders, including people organizations, farmers associations, NGOs, and prominent landowners in implementing the Agrarian Reform Program. However, despite the Agrarian Reform Fund, or ARF, the administration faced a significant budgetary shortfall due to no remittance from the asset privatizations trust and the presidential commissions on good government, hindering the program's full potential. From 1992 to 1998, President Fidel B. Ramos' administration played a role in strengthening the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CARP, by addressing major policy gaps in land acquisition and distribution, land valuation, and case resolution. His leadership also focused on improving the external system of the Department of Agrarian Reform, or DAR, and building the agency capacity to implement reforms more effectively. The administration secured more resources to support the program implementation. Despite this effort, one notable challenge was the failure to enforce the installation of some farmers' beneficiaries on the land awarded to them, which highlighted persistent issue in the program's execution. Critics of the Ramos administration pointed out that the non-physical installation of farmers' beneficiaries, or FBs, become more common than actual land transfer, undermining the effectiveness of land reform. While the administration was credited for having the largest accomplishment in terms of land acquisition and distribution or land, many sectors expressed concern over the law piece of acquiring and distributing privately owned land. They argue that much of the administration reported success was due to the focus on public lands and rice and corn lands, which were easier to acquire and distribute rather than tackling the more complex and context privately owned agriculture lands. During 1998 to 2000, President Joseph Ejercito Estrada recognized the urgent need for land distribution and emphasizes the importance of empowering farmers to take charges of their own development. His administration aimed to strengthen agrarian reform by shifting focus towards tangible outcomes. One of its initial steps was to revise performance target to prioritize the actual number of hectares of lands distributed. This was paired with detailed tracking of farmers' beneficiary as well as the type of ensuring a more comprehensive and measurable approach to implementing agrarian reform. The Estrada's administration adopted an integrated approach to agrarian reform by combining land distribution with the provision of support services to farmer beneficiaries. During this period, the Department of Agrarian Reform (UDAR) initiated several land occupation activities in coordination with farmer claimant, local government unit, and security forces, reflecting a more assertive stance in land reform implementation. The administration faced significant fiscal challenges which lead to delay or non-payment to land laborer or owner under the compulsory acquisition and voluntary offer to sale or bust. Conflict emerged among agrarian reform beneficiaries or ARBs, both within and between groups, particularly over dispute regarding control of negotiation with potential joint venture partners, some of which escalated into violence, highlighting the social tension underlying agrarian reform efforts. The administration of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo adopted the Bayan Anihan framework as the guiding principle for the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CRAP. Derived from the word bayan or people, anihan, harvest, and bayanihan, working together. The component emphasizes collective effort and unity in achieving successful agrarian reform. Under this approach, the administration aimed to foster stronger collaboration among stakeholders, including farmers, government agencies, and communities. The Arroyo's administration made significant strides in resolving agrarian disputes by implementing a quota system to encourage faster case resolution and by training farmers as paralegals, empowering them to actively participate in the legal aspect of agrarian reform. leadership of President Benigno C. Aquino III, the Department of Agrarian Reform (DAR) remained committed to sustaining the progress of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, o CARP, through its three components: land tenure improvements, program beneficiaries development, and agrarian justice delivery. The Aquino administration emphasizes the importance of good governance, aligning agrarian reform efforts with the broader national campaign against graft and corruption. To support this institutional reform within the DAR, were prioritized to promote transparency, accountability, and credibility across all levels of the agency, ensuring more effective and honestly implementation of agrarian reform program. Lastly, from 2016 to 2022, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte reaffirmed the government's commitment to agrarian reform, recognizing it as a continuing and vital issue. His administration prioritized land reform by including land tenure security in his 10-point socio-economic agenda, aiming to uplift the lives of farmers and boost agricultural productivity. Through the Presidential Agrarian Reform Council, or PARC, the Duterte administration focused on providing farmers with secure access of land, which it seems as a step toward reducing poverty in rural areas and promoting exclusive growth in the agricultural sector. That's all. Thank you.